All right, let's get started, everyone. Welcome to Marsha Reddick's webinar, What to Know in 2022 down in the OC. This is Evan Balsa speaking, and with me, I have Mr. Tyler Dagler. We are local realtors in the market and going to be going over a variety of topics today. And it's going to be just an ultimate blast, just kind of chatting through this. So we'll link you guys up with some good information and what we're seeing in the marketplace. And without further ado, we'll get started here. All right, so topics we'll be going over today is how to compete as a buyer in this crazy market, right? How to get top dollar as a seller, and utilizing the 1031 exchange, what to know and how to navigate through that, getting started as a first-time buyer, and what Tyler and I could do for you in this market and achieve your goals. So we'll have some tips and tricks to get you guys off and on your feet and ultimately make your offers competitive and stand out amongst the rest. So for those that don't know about Marsha Reddick, I'd like to take a few minutes to kind of chat about a little bit more about Marsha Reddick and what we do. So we're a real estate brokerage company. We obviously specialize in investment sales, but also in primary sales as well, helping buyers and sellers either with a purchase or a sale. But with that, we also do property management. So we have a few offices. We're obviously in OC, but have a few offices in LA, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Cape Coral, Florida. And from that, we also do private money. We're private financing. So those that either want to invest in their self-directed retirement account and need private financing to do so, we do that. We do hard money lending as well. Those that are looking to flip real estate or develop real estate, we could definitely help you. And then lastly is we have an investment fund. So very similar to the private money lending option, we have a fund where you could invest your capital and collect distributions on a quarterly basis that is lending your money out for borrowers that come to us that are looking to do projects. So that is Marsha Reddick as a whole. So for those that don't know me, I mentioned already, my name is Evan. I've helped assist over 100 plus millions in transactions within the last 5 years. I own multiple investment properties in state as well as out of state as well. I'm kind of a financial real estate modeling nerd. I like to run the numbers and see the nitty gritty behind those numbers and see how we can maximize value. I'm also a licensed California realtor and assist with all my clients' needs. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my partner, Tyler Dagler.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Tyler. I'm just going to be here for briefly 1 second. I'm going to hand it back over to Evan, and then we will see each other again as we dive into the Orange County market. So far for this year, we're going to dive into some numbers. But a little bit about me. I've done about 22 million in volume. I went to Clarkson for financial analytics and just finished up the negotiation mastery program at Harvard last spring. I'm a licensed California realtor as well. I live down in San Clemente. And I look forward to jumping into some of this with you guys tonight. All right, we'll talk soon. Evan?
Thank you, Tyler. And here's our SoCal staff. These are all the people in our Newport Beach office here, from private lenders to property managers to also sales agents. And let's get going. So it's important to know who you're working with. And with Marsha Reddick, we have a very long track record. We obviously have 300, 400 plus reviews. Tyler there's got 38 reviews. I got 17. We have a ton of experience within the navigation of either a buyer's agent or a listing agent, or just consulting with your real estate investing options. So, Tyler and I, we have a tremendous amount of experience. Like Tyler has mentioned, he's got a master's degree in the negotiations from Harvard. So he's very savvy in trying to get his clients offers accepted, but also in favorable for their terms as well. So we'll dive a little bit more deeper in that, but just knowing who you're working with really matters, especially in this SoCal area. So, here's a list of our recent sales. Last year we did about 800 plus transactions. That was in all of our markets we're currently in, but total here in history, we primarily dominate the OC. That is like our backyard. That is our bread and butter. And as you can see there, we've done a lot within this footprint here. So if you're looking to kind of find something that's either off market or trying to find something really in particular, Tyler and I are more than happy to help you guys. So. And I'm gonna actually let Tyler dive in here and talk a little bit more about the trends in the OC. Tyler?
Cool, thanks, Evan. All right, guys, so unless anybody on here has been living under a rock for the last couple of years, we've all kind of seen what's been happening in the market here. The US in general has seen a lot of appreciation since the COVID situation started. But Orange County, we've really seen it here. It's a real combination of, the interest rates. When the Fed dropped it to zero, all of a sudden, a lot of people could afford to purchase here in Orange County that couldn't previously. And that ate up all the inventory. And then as the rates remained low and everyone was buying everything up, that inventory just stayed really dry. And it really brought the prices up. And we have something happening here in Orange County that not many markets in the US are experiencing, some but not many. With COVID starting and a lot of these large tech companies allowing their employees to work from home forever moving forward, all of a sudden we have a lot of well-paid individuals around the US living in cities that they didn't really want to be in, but that's where their jobs were. And all of a sudden they can live wherever they want. And then over the past few years, I've fielded more phone calls and inquiries for out-of-state people who now have that option to live down by the beach in perfect weather all year. So you combine all of that, and it really created a real uptick in the values here in Orange County. So this was just pulled. What's that? Yesterday, if you can believe it, our average home here is over $1 million. And this is a property class layout here. What this is actually it's a proprietary tool of Marsha Reddick. We wrote a book about this that is available on our website. And if anyone is interested in getting a copy of this, it's a 42-page read. Just let us know in the chat box and I'll make sure to get you a copy over. But you value a properties class based on the metropolitan statistical area here. So if we pull up Orange County, we see that on average, we're just over $1 million here on a home. And so based on the price of homes in our market, higher or lower, we can register them in these different classes. And where that really comes into play is when you're looking at purchasing a property for an investment purpose, when you're looking to rent that property out, have tenants, have that property managed, so on and so forth. As you go into luxury class, we often find that for the investment capital versus what you get on return, it's a bit diluted just based on the cost of those homes. These are your beachfront, 5,000 square foot plus trophy homes. Awesome homes to live in, not necessarily the best for an investment purpose. And then as you go down the scale, it gets to the other side. As you get into C class and D class neighborhoods, we have found, over managing, we currently manage about 2,500 properties ourselves. Over years of data collection and data analysis, we have found that the lower you go into these property classes, the more problems you typically have with your investment, whether that's maintenance issues, quality issues, tenant quality issues, so on and so forth. So kind of keep that in mind. If you're here this evening from an investment point of view and you're looking at investing into Orange County, I want you to keep that $1 million mindset as a A-class property. Okay, so the point of my analysis for you guys tonight is actually a really exciting one. For the first time in years, I'm bringing some good news. You know, it's been an extremely hot seller's market over the past few years. We do one of these webinars, you know, once a quarter. And the story has always been fairly the same for the past few years. You know, really, really low inventory, really, really high demand. Incredible multiple offer situations, releasing of many, if not all, contingencies. Just a real kind of nail-biting, you know, fight to win property in Orange County, just because there were so many people who could afford it and so few options to choose. And for the first time in these 2 years, we are finally starting to get a little bit of relief, and I'm so excited. It's slight, but it still feels incredible. As a realtor, let me tell you, with not a lot of inventory available over the last few years, it's been, you know, a lot of hard work, long hours, and a lot of battles. And just in the past couple months, we're finally starting to see the shift. So the interest rates went up. We're generally sitting at about 5.5. This wiped a ton of people out of the buyer pool. A lot of people can no longer afford, especially here in Orange County. And you just look at these basic price points, and it's not, you know, too hard to believe. You know, in a county of 3.2 million people, if you're shopping at 500,000 or below for a single family home, you have 11 options in the entire county against 3.2 million people. And these numbers have actually gone up, right? So we're starting to see a little bit of relief. With the buyer pool dropping, demand has dropped over the past few weeks, and it's allowing homes to stay on the market slightly longer. This allows more homes to aggregate on the market, allowing more options for buyers and allowing buyers to approach the market at a slightly more relaxed pace versus over the past couple months. It is still a very hot seller's market, but we're starting to get a little relief and starting to see trends. So to kind of illustrate that with some numbers, you know, at the end of January, so just a few months ago, we had 994 homes available for sale in Orange County. Again, 994, that goes from our entry-level price point, maybe mobile home, maybe senior communities, all the way up to our mega mansions. There were less than 1,000 homes in this entire county that you could purchase. And here we are mid-May, and we're up to about 2,500. So that has jumped considerably. Now, the pre-COVID 3-year average at any given time, there was about 6,200 homes available for sale here in Orange County. So even though the numbers have gone up greatly since January, we're still way off from our average of 6,200 homes to choose from. So that our inventory as it sits needs to go up another 155% to get to that normal, but we are starting to see that trend slowly but surely. And even our 3-year average of 6,200 is still a slight seller's market here in Orange County. It takes about 8,000 homes to be available at any given time for us to find a balanced market, a market that doesn't favor buyers or sellers more on either hand. So today at 2,400 available, you can see we're still way under that balanced market, but even that little relief has made a very big difference for our clients. And to emphasize that on another metric here to help you guys understand. So the end of March, you know, I mean, 2 months ago or so, on average in Orange County, it took 20 days to get a house into escrow. So that means from the day that you put the for sale sign in the front yard to the day that you're accepting an offer and going in, the average was about 20 days. Now, I know a lot of you on the phone is like, that's crazy. I saw stuff going before it even saw its first open house. That is still happening in certain price points. The under $1.5 million is still super duper hot. Everything over 2.5 million as you go up in there has really cooled down. But on average, it took about 20 days. Today, it takes 34. So the way you can look at that is that the market here in Orange County has slowed down by approximately 2 weeks, right? Now, to have a balanced market, typically when we have those 8,000 homes for sale, the market is balanced. It takes between 90 and 100 days, right, to get a home into escrow on average. So even though we're up 2 weeks, you can see we're still really far away from a balanced market. And we don't typically start seeing market price depreciation until after 120 days on market. Now, we have started to see some homes coming down in price in Orange County, especially over the last couple weeks. But these were homes that were priced in fairy tale land to begin with, and now that we're starting to get a little bit of, buyer demand mute with the interest rates going up, they're coming back down so that they can actually try and sell. So what does this mean for you guys? And I apologize, that was a lot. I'm a data nerd. I can get all this information over to anybody who wants it. We'll also be making follow-up phone calls here in the upcoming weeks. So if there's anything that you want clarification on, if you want copies of these reports, if you just want to sit down and go through different scenarios, more than happy to do it. So what does it mean for you guys? It means that purchasing on the purchasing side has become slightly easy over the past 30 days, though it is still a seller's market. And for the people out there selling their properties, unfortunately, the boat of super high premium, it has passed. And until we get some sort of mega worldwide event that would cause the Fed to drop rates to absolutely zero, allowing everyone to go purchase and bringing demand back to historically high levels, that boat has sailed a little bit. So we're seeing sellers now needing to be more strategic about pricing. Sellers still get to call 99% of the shots in the deal right now, though, for sure. Because even though demand has slightly muted, we're going from 30 offers on a property to 20, right? So that's a third decrease if you look at it that way, but still they have, sellers have many, many options when it comes to offers in hand. So what do I foresee happening for the rest of this year and as we come up? So the market has digested this 5.5% interest rate at this point. When the rates first came out, demand really dropped, and we had a couple weeks where transactions weren't really happening. And the buyer pool was trying to understand, okay, how is this going to affect the market? And now that they've digested that and business has resumed, we're forecasting probably another 5.1% appreciation through the remainder of this year. So though the wild appreciation and the massive price jumping is no longer going to be the norm. We will still have some of that in lower price points, but while it will no longer be the norm, we are still going to see price appreciation through this year. Slower at 5% than we've been seeing, in these 20% years we've been having, but still there. Coming up into Q1, Q2 of next year, I and some of my people close to me, we believe that interest rates will come down a little bit, right? The Fed really is putting brakes on the economy with these big rate hikes. And we believe that they'll start coming down as the economy hits more of an equilibrium coming into Q1, Q2. So when that happens, expect the market to go to become hotter than it will be for these next 6 months. So I believe that we've got a little bit of a window here as buyer demand has muted. But with rates dropping again, Q1, Q2 next year, should they, I believe that's going to spice things back up. And here again, this is just what I kind of got ahead of myself, but yeah, we've been seeing, generally 25.5% increases over the last couple of years here in Orange County. If anyone here on the phone, purchased between 2012 and, 2018, 2019, you're really, really excited and you know exactly what I'm talking about. For any of those of you who've purchased in the last 2 years, you've probably found massive price appreciation over those 2 years. Something to keep in mind that's not normal is a really awesome opportunity that we've been able to to keep a hold of. But just know that as we're coming out of, one of these once in a lifetime, hopefully knock on wood, global events, we're going to go back to a more stabilized and normal market. So I'm going to talk real quick about purchasing here in Orange County. And Evan's going to come back on and talk about selling in Orange County. They're two totally different animals right now. And the market is in this weird shift, right? So last week, I lost out on an offer for clients. We were in a generally $650,000 price range. We offered, this was literally like 8-9 days ago. We offered 130,000 over. There were like 35 offers. And we offered this massive over because we needed to get this property. And we lost at 130,000 over. Now here we are only, coming up on 2 weeks later, that same client I put into escrow last night, same $650,000 price point, and we only paid 20,000 over. Massive, massive shift. And it's exciting to see. It's a breath of fresh air. But it's still difficult to acquire real estate in Orange County. There is just far more people who want and can afford this market than there are options available. So it's really important to be linked up with not only experienced and educated people, but connected people. A lot of deals are still happening off market. And a lot of the deals that we're finding for our clients, we're generating by literally doing door-to-door sales. So how and why work with us, right? So everything I'm going to go over here is pretty standard for what you would want in a realtor. And I know that looking at this, you're probably like, yeah, of course, Tyler, that's what I want you to do. But it's wild how many quote unquote realtors out there don't provide this kind of service. The barrier to entry to get a real estate license in California is extremely low. I actually heard on a podcast the other day that in order to get your license to paint nails in Orange County, you need 800 hours of unpaid experience before you can go and get that license. Yet to sell somebody's multi-million-dollar home, you take a couple tests and spend a couple $1,000s, and that's really it. So it's very important who you work with, especially on the buy side. Because you're going up against several other people in these bidding wars, and if you really want to actually own a piece of property, you need to have somebody on your team that can actually get it done. So we're going to go over your requirements, style, location, price, all that kind of good stuff. And then we'll go over different facts and alternatives to determine the best property for you. Just because you can afford something or just because it's in the neighborhood you like doesn't mean that it's going to be a good investment. And we're here to tell you no when you need to hear it. Now, a lot of realtors don't like to do that. They want to make sure they get the deal closed. Me and Evan will pull you kicking and screaming away from a deal that's not right for you. So then we're going to provide information on homes available in your area, not just what's listed. We have an entire whiteboard here at the office of off-market properties that we have. And a lot of offices around Orange County have something similar. And that's why we make sure to, be present at those offices and make sure that all those people are part of our network so that we have access to all the off-market stuff happening right now as well. And at the end of the day, we can read over this all we want, but we're going to work very hard for you guys. We appreciate your business and we truly enjoy what we do, which makes a big difference in who you're working with. We're not doing it necessarily for the money. Yes, we have bills to pay, but we generally, we walk into this office every morning all giddy and excited and hyped up about real estate. And so you'll have somebody on your side that's not only going to be interested in what you're doing and dedicated to it, but we're going to have a lot of fun too, because we truly enjoy it. In conventional financing, we do have an in-house conventional financer here. His name's Reed, and he works for a company called CMG. Reed couldn't be here tonight, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys got to see his face and got a little information on him in case you are at the point where you need to be speaking to a lender. And so, Reed's the guy that we work with here, number 64 in the nation last year. Does a lot of business, and why that's important is because he knows all the loopholes, all the tips, tricks, Anybody on here who's purchased more than 2 pieces of real estate in your life will tell you that every single deal is different. They all have snags and hooks and pitfalls, and having the right team to help you navigate stuff is important, especially if you're trying to stay on schedule. And buying real estate right now, the escrow times are short, the contingency times are tight. And so you need someone who can help you get through all stuff when you hit delays, and Reed's definitely a guy who can do that. And he's going to provide this little piece of gold for you called your pre-approval letter. This is what we need in order to go start seeing properties. A trend we've seen since COVID hit was the requirement for pre-approvals before we can even show properties, right? So listing agents will get a property under contract. The seller doesn't want, everyone and their brother in the home, especially, during the pandemic. So in order to weed out looky-loos, to weed out people who can't afford it, to weed out people who aren't ready to purchase, a lot of listing agents are requiring that we provide proof of this before we can even schedule a time to go see the property. And this is something that Reed can help get into your hands so we can actually get the ball rolling for you here. Again, a ton of great reviews on his team. All these people live in San Clemente where I live, and I absolutely love them. They are great family people, hardworking people. And we talk about it in the office all the time. One of the only lights on you see in San Clemente after 11 p.m. is Reed. You can literally drive down a street of businesses with the lights out, everyone's home, and Reed's up working. He's someone that we can count on. And so here's his contact information and his beautiful family. And if you guys are at the point where you have some lending questions, maybe lending availability, maybe income required questions, things of that nature, you can reach out to Reed specifically and just let him know you got his information from this webinar tonight. He'll be more than happy to help you. So now on the other side of the Orange County market, selling homes. I'm going to bring Evan in here. He's got a ton of experience doing this and is one of the best in our office at doing so. Evan, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So we all know the market's been super, super good for the seller side. So, for those that are contemplating of listing your guys' house and trying to game plan for that, I want to just take just a few slides and kind of just go over just the basic high level information of selling your home and what to really look for and how to navigate through that. And, so we'll kind of dive deeper into that. So obviously we have a seller's checklist here. So if you are about maybe 6 months away from, selling your house, reach out to Tyler and I. We'll give you just a quick little seller's checklist here. And, basically what it is, we've taken our recommendations in terms of what is easier for most sellers, and really, taking down family photos, obviously declutter. We highly recommend less is more. It just shows better. The photos look fantastic when less is out of the family room, and then we can kind of really tailor a set date to list the property, go over open house schedules, and just kind of proofread your home descriptions and kind of talk about just our marketing plan to kind of get your home in the right direction so it's set up for success. So I'm sure a lot of you are also wondering how we come up with your home's value, and I'm sure you guys could easily hop on to Zillow and realtor.com and get a quick number from there. But us realtors, we kind of have a laughing joke that Zillow or Redfin or realtor.com, you can see your home's value, and we kind of base off that value of like a 10. It could be either 10% higher or 10% less or lower. So what Tyler and I like to do is, we've mentioned already, we're kind of data-driven nerds, and we kind of like to look at the hard facts and kind of come up with our own figures. So we do a CMA, and what that stands for is a comparative market analysis. So what we do is we pull all the active listings in the neighborhood and then all the closed in the neighborhood. So when we're listing your house and trying to come up with a good figure for your home. Well, one of them, I like to really take the home and look at it from a perspective as, you know, your home, when you list your home, it's no longer a home anymore. It becomes a product. And really what I mean by that is a buyer is going to walk through and they know what is on the market. They see it on Redfin, Zillow, whatever, right? So they're comparing your home to what's actively listed in your neighborhood. So if we take this, for example, for Flower Street here, right? So I'm actively scanning and looking from square footage. Okay, so if I go down and look at, you know, the bedroom count and the square footage, I can kind of get a rough idea of what things are actively trading for or being listed for on a medium and average, and also looking at a medium square footage or average in the neighborhood. So if you were to list your home, we're going to look at what is actively being listed in your market. And then after that, we would kind of go through together and look at actively sold comps, right? So we want to see what is actively being compared from your house. Maybe your house has that white shiny countertops, quartz countertops, and you added a nice pool, and you know there was a comp that sold that had, you know, no pool. So we're going to take that comp and bump up a few extra points for you because you had the nice backyard and features in your home. So, you know, it's really kind of just comparing and contrasting of what's being sold in your market. So Tyler and I like to sit down with you and actively look through those together. So obviously you guys know the house better than we will ever do, and you can give us some features of what's been upgraded in the home that will help us get a better idea of what's kind of sold from your neighbor's house, and we'll come up with a value in mind for us to list your home. So just personal, my own personal opinion of giving you guys a value is I like to give you guys a recommendation, and I'll give you 3 recommendations of a price in mind. And ultimately, I want you guys to be comfortable with the price and know that whatever price you guys decide is a price that I'm going to be actively trying to achieve. So the 3 prices I'd normally like to do is I like to give a seller a hot price. And a hot price, this is a price that not necessarily you guys are going to accept, but it's a price to get buyers through the door and ultimately create a bidding war. So from that, I would give another a price, a medium, where, you know, it's probably right in line with the comps, maybe slightly over, but we're trying to see what we can get, right? So maybe 30 days from it being listed, I might have to come back and be like, hey, I think we need to drop the price, but it's a price that, you know, who knows? Let's kind of test the market. So that's the medium price. And then the next price is I like to give you know, some sellers want to test the market and see what they can get. So obviously the market's been hot, and let's just throw it out high and see what we get. So hot, medium, and cold is what I like to give sellers when they're deciding to list their home. And either of the 3 prices are fine, but ultimately I want you guys to know the strategies behind each of those pricing opinions. So hopefully that understands. So 3 tips for sellers. 1, deep clean and declutter your home. So obviously I mentioned that previously, less is more. The house shows better when, you know, you've kind of decluttered everything and it's just open, bright, and just shows better. 2, only look at current information to determine the value of your home. This is so crucial. You know, Tyler and I really, like I just mentioned, you know, we really want to show you guys accurate information, and, you know, we ultimately want you guys to look at current information that has sold recently, not, you know, maybe 6 months, a year ago. You know, with this current market, things are just changing so rapidly that honestly, we have to take it by a week basis because it's just changing by the seat of the pants. So 3, be realistic with your list price and time frame. So if you guys had a time frame that was, you know, urgent, you needed to sell this in 30 days, I would say, guys, let's list at the hot price, and let's try to get as many buyers through as possible. And maybe you guys were on the other end of the spectrum and wanted to take the time to really try to get that one buyer, then, you know, just be upfront and let us know of your guys' goals, and we're happy to try to accommodate those and try to get you guys set up for success. Now, this is probably the number one question Tyler and I get all the time. Should you renovate and update or sell as is? If you guys have the funds to renovate, highly always recommend doing so. It just increases your chances to ultimately net more for your property. It's going to attract more buyers. You're going to get more offers. So when you get more offers, you can counter the buyers and ultimately get them to compete against each other. You can call the shots, meaning you can dictate what contingencies you want removed, whether that's appraisal or lesser due diligence timeline. So if the market is in favor of sellers, and increasing your home's value by renovating it might be the right move. And if you guys have questions in regards to what you feel, or even just seeking our opinion on what we would recommend, we're more than happy to set up a consultation and kind of give you some of our own opinion and feedback on where to spend the money, because some sellers just kind of get kind of lost and want to just update things just to update things. And you know, we want to make sure that you guys are ultimately netting the most that you can in doing so. So if you guys would like to kind of set up a consultation and talk about that, we're happy to do so. So our marketing plan for your property includes obviously listing it through the MLS. So your property gets the most exposure. So it's actively being viewed on realtor.com or Zillow or some of those other syndicated sites. And, you know, Tyler and I, we're really good at the marketing aspect of it. We really like to take your house and really kind of create a story with it. So Tyler has a background with marketing, obviously, and he is just phenomenal with kind of creating a vision and a story. I come from a background of, you know, more photography and you know, him and I, we both like to kind of put our heads together. We like to do like twilight shots, and what, if you aren't familiar with twilight shots, it is kind of shooting the property right at sun dusk to create that vision when buyers pull into their new home, and it's like just the twilights are on and the house is shining bright and it looks great at sun dusk, and creating that sunset backdrop. So kind of creating that more dramatic exposure for the home. Next, placing a clear visible yard sign and a brochure box in front of your property. You'd be shocked to see that most agents don't do this, and it's just a quick and easy way to pick up more buyers. You'd be shocked that the stats of neighborhood friends recommending listings to their other friends. Hey, you should come buy in my neighborhood. Here's this house for sale. So just having that clear visible sign in your house or in your front yard is definitely recommended. We like to set up a lockbox for easy showing access. This kind of varies per the seller's temperament. If you guys are wanting a lockbox on there, absolutely, we'll have it. However, Tyler and I, sometimes we like to be at all showings to kind of really show and advertise your house in the best light. And it's really our chance to really sell your house. So next is we like to feature your home on our website. So whether it's either investment property or a primary, we like to just least to get enough eyeballs on our site. And then this next point here is we like to create a aggressive marketing campaign. Like I mentioned previously, Tyler is really good at the advertising and creating a story on social media. to get enough eyeballs drawn to your property. So we like to do a video shoot. I mentioned a twilight photography session, and then we like to kind of set up a kind of like an aggressive a mail campaign as well, where we mail drop at least 1,000 homes around your property and just try to get the buzz going. So we like to do a coming soon, where we try to get the neighbors telling their friends or people who they know into the property to try to get as much exposure drawn to it. And then just networking with agents. You know, since Tyler and I do a lot of deals here in OC, we happen to do the same deals with the same agents over and over again. So you'd be shocked that Tyler and I will pick up the phone and say, hey, we have this new listing coming on, and you know, some of our good buddies are agents, and we'll be happy to do a deal together that way. And then scheduling open houses. Usually we like to schedule the first open house the first week it comes on. Usually the first 2 weeks of a property that's being listed is your most exposure for that property. And what I mean by that is most showings, maybe offers drawn in there, and just the most activity drawn is in the first 2 weeks of a listed property. So we like to at least hold the first two weekend open houses. Obviously that depends on your guys' schedule and if you're okay with that, but you know, we would highly recommend that to get as much exposure drawn towards it. Next is setting up screenings for all showings for you guys. So we like to pre-screen all showings, make sure that we're not wasting your guys' time. I know we understand that there's a lot that is being drawn in, and you guys have to declutter your house and set up a lot for a showing request. So we like to pre-screen, make sure that they're pre-approved. Tyler mentioned that pre-approval letter previously. We want to make sure that they're pre-approved or paying cash. So we like to ensure that we're only touring and showing qualified buyers for your home. Next, after we show them your home, we want to get feedback from buyers afterwards, so that we could give you guys a weekly update of how many showings we're having, what's the feedback been, so that if we are priced too high or too low, we know what to do and alter to kind of pivot for you guys, so you guys are in the loop. So staying in contact with you is our #1 priority. You know, we understand that some agents will just list a property and you will never talk to them, or there's a big team involved and you kind of get lost in the shuffle. And we want to make sure that you guys are in #1 contact and just kind of update on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, knowing what's going on. So we will try to give you guys on a weekly basis just the feedback, number of showings, and if not, schedule more showings of what we have in the future, so that you guys are in the loop. So, and next, handling all contract and paperwork. Tyler and I will set up all paperwork for you guys and handle the escrow process, making sure that you guys are properly represented and are getting that closing. So next, if we're helping you with your up leg, finding you a home, we're more than happy to do that too, and find you guys either your next dream home. Here is a snapshot of some of our recently sold properties here. We wanted to kind of show you some of our closed collection, as well as what we have currently in escrow and for sale. So don't get kind of shocked that we've done some of the larger deals. We do deals all over. So whether you're looking in San Bernardino, or you want to be in that Newport Beach and pull the trigger on an $8 million property. So we do deals all over. We just are focused on your guys' goals and want to make sure that you guys are properly represented and make sure you guys are taken care of. All right, so 1031 guidelines and requirements. So I know the bulk of this topic was more towards primary sellers, But also, if you guys are looking to do a 1031 and wanting to buy or sell an investment property, this is more tailored towards those individuals. So if you guys are doing a 1031 exchange, there's obviously some guidelines that you guys need to do. So when you're selling a property, whether that's an investment property, you have to exchange like mind for like mind. What that means is if you have real estate, you have to sell towards and buy into real estate. So Tyler and I have a great 1031 accommodator. Her name's Dino Champagne. If you guys are doing that, we would love for you to get connected with her. That's all she does. And this is what she does for a living, and she can help guide you guys. So she knows all the tax deferral requirements. In terms of the timelines, you guys have 45 days to identify a property and 180 days to close and complete the exchange. So making sure that you guys hit your goals and timelines is crucial for this 1031 process, and being set up with just professionals like Tyler and I, and also Dino, is only going to make that process less stressful and just easy for you guys. So talk to us a little bit more. We can schedule a call at your guys' convenience and go over those more in depth. All right, so where to begin? And I'm going to pass this to Tyler here. Tyler, where to begin? Talk to us. What do you got, buddy?
Thank you, Evan. You can breathe for a minute there.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot.
That was a lot. Thank you. All right, guys. So as simple as just giving us a call or shooting us an email is really your first step, right? I made phone calls out to many of you before this webinar tonight, and there's a lot of different types of real estate buyers and sellers on the line tonight. We've got people looking to purchase real estate that they can build ADUs on. We have people who have opportunities to do some real estate flips here in Orange County. We have people looking to expand their buy and hold rental portfolios. We have people looking to buy their first home. We have people looking to sell and buy their third. And so our job is to have a conversation with you guys and really understand what your particular situation is, and then help to build a framework for a strategy and bring the right people and components of our team into the mix to help you accomplish that. If you're looking at doing, flip funding, if you're looking at property management, so on and so forth, those are literally all different divisions here on our team in Newport. And, I don't want you to think that me and Evan are trying to be like one-stop shop, like we're the guy for everything type of things. Our job is to help you guys purchase and sell real estate. But we have a great team here to help you with all the different facets that, encompass real estate. So we really just want to understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish and what your situation looks like. And through that, we will help you evaluate options and go over timelines and help you create that plan. And like I said, this is what we do all day, and we truly, truly enjoy it. So we really look forward to talking to you guys. So for our buyers, we can have an initial meeting to go over your goals. We'll talk about what your income looks like, what your career looks like. We'll talk about the different areas that make sense and don't make sense for you, and what it is that you're looking for in a home. For some people, that's a certain amount of square footage. For some people, that's a garage. For me, I could only buy something if it has a garage, right? That's my whole thing. I will live in the garage at this point. You know what I mean? Some people, it's about proximity to family. Some people, it's about proximity to the golf course, right? So it's really all about understanding what your particular situation is, so we can help you evaluate the options. Then we're going to get you connected with Reed so we can get that pre-approval put together. You guys will go through a basic pre-approval process. I just did it myself last week, looking at buying another property. The whole thing took me 15 minutes and it was extremely painless. Once we have that all set up, we're going to start hunting for homes for you. We'll set you up on different drip campaigns to show you different options and make sure you're getting that. These drip campaigns will give you generally a 24-hour to 48-hour heads up on Zillow, Realtor, so on and so forth, as that IDX takes typically 1 to 2 days to update off the MLS. So in today's market, that really will give you a leg up. and we're happy to provide that for you. And then we can begin touring properties, and we can start making offers. And I can't tell you guys how many webinars me and Evan have done like this that then lead to people like you on the line tonight giving us a call. And here we are a couple months to a couple years down the road. You know, everyone's time frame is fine. There's no right or wrong, but can't tell you how many times, you know, we're handing over keys and giving hugs and high fives. And, you know, thank God I went to that meetup event. You know what I mean? So we look forward to helping you guys on the line here tonight accomplish those same dreams and goals. We're really excited to do so. And for our sellers, same idea. Let's meet at the house so we can check it out and check out the neighborhood, and we can come up with a strategy specific for you. Evan kind of hinted on it before, but we're real big fans of building stories behind our real estate. Gone are the days where you're putting up some nice photos and maybe a little bit of drone work sets you aside. That stuff is all par for the course now. And so we really like to build a story that people can follow along, and it makes them feel like they're part of that home story, and all of a sudden it starts feeling like more of an emotional thing versus just looking on Zillow, right? And so that it will be much more easier for us to digest and come up with that plan if we can meet you at the home so we can get eyes on it. It will help you prepare the home for sale. We'll get our marketing and advertising all set up. We'll go live on the MLS, and we'll help you guys net as much as you possibly can. You know, on average, our office is selling at a higher premium than most offices in Orange County. It's something we're very proud of, and it's just a reflection of the extra effort and time and effort and money that we put into these marketing campaigns. So if you guys want to take a snapshot of this, feel free to reach out. You can call or text us or email us at any time. We literally only think and talk about real estate 24/7, right? So if we don't get back to you, it's because we're sleeping pretty much. But besides that, you will get a response from us right away. We love doing this, and we look forward to helping you guys. So please feel free to reach out. And with that, everybody, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day and out of your evening to come listen to us talk about real estate. We realized that was a lot, all put together at once. And like I said, we will be reaching out to all of you guys to follow up. So if you have any questions, you know, please make sure to note them down so that when we do give you a call, we can go over it. We look forward to hearing from all of you. And we look forward to celebrating some major successes in your guys' real estate futures with you. If you have any questions, please reach out. And if not, have an absolutely wonderful night. Thank you guys again.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.